France and Vietnam signed a deal on Monday for 20 Airbus planes, among other pacts, as President Emmanuel Macron visited Hanoi, seeking to boost France's influence in its former colony, grappling with threats of crippling U.S. tariffs. Macron's first formal visit to Vietnam, the first by a French president in nearly a decade, follows U.S. President Donald Trump's threats on Friday of 50% duties on EU goods from June that sharply fueled tension with the 27-nation bloc. Export-dependent Vietnam, under pressure from Washington to buy more American goods, has made pledges in trade talks to avert 46% tariffs that could impair its growth, fanning European concerns about deals at the region's expense. Deals signed during Macron's visit covered the plane purchase, cooperation on nuclear energy, railways, Airbus Earth observation satellites, and Sanofi. Vaccines, a list of documents seen by Reuters showed, confirming an earlier report. In statements to the press with no questions allowed, Macron reiterated France's support of freedom of navigation, an issue dear to Vietnam, as it often clashes with Beijing over contested boundaries in the South China Sea. Macron added the partnership with Vietnam entails a reinforced defense cooperation, citing the signing of multiple projects on defense and space. Vietnam's President Luong Quang said the defense partnership involved sharing of information on strategic matters and stronger cooperation in the defense industry, cybersecurity, and anti-terrorism. France ruled the Southeast Asian country for about 70 years until it was forced out in 1954 after a major defeat at Dien Bien Phu in northern Vietnam. Ties have improved in recent decades, being upgraded last year to Vietnam's highest level. On his trip, the first leg of a Southeast Asian tour that includes Indonesia and Singapore, Macron will visit a university in Hanoi on Tuesday before flying to Jakarta, the Indonesian capital. The deal with European plane maker Airbus for Vietnam's low-cost airline Vietjet to buy 20 A330neo wide-body aircraft follows last year's agreement for 20 of the jets. The signing followed urging by European officials in recent weeks for Vietnam to be careful in concessions made to the White House. Two officials based in Vietnam with knowledge of the discussions had told Reuters, referring to concerns on Airbus. Airbus is the main supplier of jets to Vietnam, contributing 86% of its fleet, data from aviation analytics firm Cerium shows. A separate agreement with Airbus Defense was also signed during the visit for cooperation with Vietnam on Earth observation satellites. Airbus has long been in talks with Hanoi for the replacement of Vietnam's Earth observation satellite, built by Airbus's predecessor EADS and launched in 2013. With an economy heavily dependent on U.S. exports, Vietnam has signaled the possible purchase of at least 250 Boeing planes by flag carrier Vietnam Airlines and rival Vietjet. Officials of both nations have said such deals would help cut its huge trade surplus with the United States and possibly appease Trump. In talks with the United States, Vietnam should make sure not to make decisions at the expense of European interests, one of the EU officials said. Vietnamese leaders have been advised such steps could jeopardize close ties with the EU, which has a free trade deal with Vietnam and is a major buyer of its goods, they added.